Hi and welcome to this Elden Ring Nightreign reaction livestream. And we are on. Say hi in the chat. In tradition, we're beginning by listening to one of my own tracks. This is Undead Council from the Diabolical Lilith Part 2 album. Carson, hi there, welcome. Hi there, Julia, Sebastian, welcome. Dylan, welcome. Trying to get the chat working. Ah, finally. Oh, that's awesome. Good to have you aboard, Curson. Yeah, glad you finally found yourself in to catch one of the live streams. Right, so we've been doing a lot of different soundtrack reactions on my YouTube channel. We've been checking out The Witcher 3. We've been checking out Elden Ring, Nightreign, Shadow of the Erdtree, Bloodborne, Nier, and many others. And today we're going to continue listening to the Elden Ring Nightreign soundtrack. Because last time we listened to all the boss music, basically. All the battles, the important battle music. But today we're going to take and continue listening to the epic ambience music pieces. Just doing some final setups here. But let's begin here today listening to the main theme from Nightreign. Just to get us warming the clothes. Again, say hi in the chat and let me know your favorite piece from the Elden Ring Nightreign soundtrack. I think it's really fun to do this. But somehow I can't get the piano to come through to OBS today. Weird. Cheers! Just love the build in this main theme for Nightreign. It's a very nice dynamic curve throughout this piece. Begins this really rather softly and then builds very nicely with the string arrangement. Whoa. Whoa. It's just perfect. I was thinking about this the last night that many things, like, you know, in nature and in music and in basically everything, math, is based on the golden rule, or the rule of thirds. And I think it's the same if you just look at this arrangement dynamically, and many other themes dynamically. And if you look at the picture from start to end, and you look at the dynamic curve, you have this rise, and then about a third into the track, you have a drop. And in this track, that's the choir part at the end here. They're in Spotlight. Hi there, welcome to the stream. How are you tonight? It's a good start, the Nightreign main theme. Okay, so we got the piano going here, but it's not audible to me. Why? Always technical problems. Hate it. I'm good, thanks. Except for the technical problems here, but we'll manage without. Okay, so we'll live without the keys tonight, I guess. Right, so next up, I think we're going to listen to the Shrouded Roundtable Hold. And again, I'm going to post the playlist I'm using here tonight, so you can check it out if you want to have a look at what kind of tracks we're playing. Because last time we played the Outset, so I think we can skip that track and just jump to the Shrouded Roundtable Hold. Nah, it's been a cold quite a few days, but I think it's rather mild today. It's like 5-6 minus or something. But we had like minus 18, minus 20 something. But I'm all fine with that. I really enjoy the cold. Some really beautiful piano details there among the very soaring violins and the violas and cello playing. It seems to be one of those like introspective themes very good for ambience music in games. It almost sounds like a coat or something in the very background at some places. Really love like the silence in between the notes here. It's all about the silence when it comes to beautiful music, I guess. The silence in between the notes, where we just have some kind of ambience going on. It's some kind of like background noise, wind. It's a very dreamy vibe in this track. Right, so that was the Shrouded round table hold. And to me this is like typically one of those mood themes that typically just infuse a certain type of a mood in an area to reflect the kind of overall vibe of a region or an area within the game. And I think it does it really well, although the track doesn't really go anywhere. There's no adventure in this track, so to speak. But there are small details that makes it still interesting. And it's not like bothering in a sense. So it's not like a bad track, but it's also nothing that really stands out, obviously. Because I totally understand these type of tracks. They are just made to infuse a certain type of mood. And yeah, it really gives me like an introspective, thoughtful kind of mood. Good for sleeping, indeed. Curzon, you're so right. But it's not very suspenseful in any way, and it's not malicious or like, yeah, not discouraging either, I think. It's just like, not bland, but yeah, you know what I mean. A little bit of moody. On a rainy day. Yeah, you might not want to have like too intense music in the hub, I guess. Next up we have the Nightfarers. I'm so sad I couldn't get the piano to be audible within the streaming application, OBS. I have no idea what happened, but I had like too little time here to prepare before the stream because my son he didn't really want to sleep. Things happen. Next up, the Nightfarers. And I mean, this sounds like a team of adventurers are setting off on a very dangerous adventure, like the preparation or like the. Ah, okay, that makes sense. This place when you prepare to head out for a new expedition, and then it's just perfectly executed. I think it really depicts like the danger ahead and the horrors to come. Not the horrors to come, but it sounds a little bit adventurous, but dangerous. Towards a dangerous adventure. Beautiful composition by Soma Tanisaki. And I don't think he composed too many tracks. Oh, okay, he has some tracks later down the line here. Perilous. Yeah, maybe that's the word. Right, so next up we're gonna listen to Limwell. The feelings I get from this composition so far is it sounds like someone with like profound loss. It really depicts kind of loss, I guess. Where it's not frightening, but it sounds like a funeral music in a sense. But then we do have some light in the tunnel, it appears. I really love these tracks when we have an adventure. We get some sparks of hope in this cue, which began with this really dark, or the feeling of loss. And then we get back into a little bit of hope. Just love that. And back to the danger. And it's always lovely when you have a little bit of clashing notes and a little bit of suspense, because it's gonna add value to the track, a lot of value in my opinion, when you just don't have things that are like in harmony. You need a little bit of dissonance to get more quality out of the track, I guess, because it's gonna be more interesting harmonically and more interesting to listen to, at least I think so. But it was a great little adventure in this track. It began with this funeral kind of vibe, and then we get a little bit of spark of hope, and then again, rule of thirds, and we're back at the Garden of Grief, so to speak. But I guess we also make the tracks, or they also make these tracks like that because they are gonna loop, and you need a little bit of Kajsa, thanks for joining in. Thanks for the subscription. But you need this kind of a dynamic curve, especially if you're gonna loop the track, and to make it infinitely interesting. I do the same thing when I make game loops. Always think about this little dynamic curve in the track. So you have something interesting happening. Not at the very end. You don't want to build like a total ramp, because you want to go back a little bit so it can loop seamlessly back to the beginning from the end. Yeah, there is Spotlight. Funny one. It's kind of funny that melody is so slow, and meanwhile the team will be running around at top speed. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's not cued to the speed of the players. Okay, so there's also an Eventide version and a Night version of Limwell, and also Limwell Falls. So let's listen to Eventide and see what that's like. And they are all composed by the same composer, Tai Tomisawa. I have no idea how to spell these names, but yeah, that's how it is. Limwell Eventide. Yeah, there we have that dissonance part that I was talking about, when we have a few clashing notes and then it resolves and it gets more in harmony. This definitely sounds like one of those ambient tracks from the original Elden Ring. It's a very similar in vibe. And I guess that's gonna be for many of the tracks. We have the typical instrumentation with like a sound effects ambience in the background. It might be wind, it might be some other type of ambience effect, maybe a hall noise or something, concert hall noise. And then you're gonna have those deep cellos playing some sparse melodies. But I really love that sound. I think it's a nice mix for those for the background ambiences of Nightreign. It suits the theme very nice. Right, so it's the same type of like ambient or dynamic curve on this Limwell Eventide. It's a little bit different flavor compared to the previous track, but it's in the same ballpark. It sounds like you're walking around on a graveyard on a rainy evening or something. A rainy autumn evening. A lot of like autumn vibe, I feel. I get autumn vibes. Next up we have Limwell Night. Let me know what you think about these themes too. What feelings do you feel when you're listening to this track? Limwell Night. Yeah, so this track is definitely more foreboding. I totally agree with that, Curzon. Definitely more foreboding and dangerous. Instantly, when we start the track here, I get the instant vibe that it's a much more dangerous environment and more hostile environment we're entering. And I really love the ostinato in the background here. Dum dum, dum dum, the cello's chugging on like that. And there also seems to be like a distorted synth sound with a lot of overdrive, like in-your-face overdrive. And that really sounds dangerous in this mix, I think. It's like a pulsing bass. I really love that mixer when you have like pure orchestral sounds and also mix in those really overdriven or oversaturated distortion synth sounds. It's just a great mix because you get this really ballsy, outerworldly sound, but still have the orchestral qualities. So it's not like overwhelming, but definitely a more hostile track, Limwell at Night. Definitely don't want to go there. And the next one is Limwell Falls. But this one is composed by Shoei Miyazawa. Curzon, the high-pitched string early in the track sing almost makes me think of old slasher stingers, like from Psycho, when the slasher killer comes out with a knife. Yeah, definitely sounded very like overdriven, those strings. I wonder what kind of articulation they're doing on the violin. I actually started playing the violin here, started practicing the other day. I've been practicing a little bit today during lunch too. And yeah, if you follow my channel, you know that I play a lot of instruments. I play drums, keyboards, piano, basses, guitars, flutes, bavu. What you have. But I've yet to learn the violin, so it's going to be fun to learn to play that. So currently I'm practicing playing the Oblivion theme, or the Morrowind theme. You know it. Limwell Falls. Right, so this track also begins with like a subtle dissonance. And I talked about this before, that like the most dissonance note intervals, or the most, some of the dissonant note intervals you can use is the tritone. It can sound very dissonant, and it's typically used like in horror films and stuff like that. But you can also use like -9. But here they are using the second. And together, when you play these notes together, but I guess it's on different instruments, it gives you just a little bit and enough dissonance. It's like a lighter version of a dissonance, but it's also lovely when we resolve that maybe into a minor third or something. A little bit of music theory talk here, but somebody's been asking for a more like deep analysis in harmony structure and melodies in these live streams. But it's always a little bit hard to go too deep when we're doing these live streams, because I want to listen to many tracks and also interact with you and talk about the different stuff, not only like music theory. Because I know there's a lot of gamers out there and just pure music lovers that might also want to enjoy these reaction videos. But if you want to learn more, you can see the links pop up here from time to time. I have a free film scoring for beginners course, and I also have more deeper music courses, like the cinematic music course, and also courses in Logic Pro, Bitwig Studio, ambient music, and all sorts of stuff. So if you're interested in learning more deep about music, don't hesitate to visit that link, edu.morningdomedia.com. So enough with ads, let's continue listening. It almost sounds like there's some Asian instruments from time to time. But I guess maybe it's just a cimbalom or something. I think it's called cimbalom. But it really adds a little bit of like Asian flavor to me, to my ears. But I don't know about you, but I get a little bit of like Asian vibe when listening to this. But again, it's a really nice ambient track. It doesn't adventure too much into different areas or to different themes and stuff. It's doing its thing here for the game ambience. Love me some julmust. Yeah, we gotta have the julmust. You know it. It's the best. And for those of you who doesn't know that, julmust actually sells better than Coca-Cola here in Sweden during the Christmas times. It's hilarious. People bunker up. Vegan, if you haven't already, I hope you do the Everdark Balancers track as well. It came out just a few days after your first Nightreign stream. Well, if it's not in this playlist, I couldn't find the track in the playlist, so I guess it might be on another playlist. Is it available on YouTube? Yeah, we'll see if we can get to that. Carson, have you ever listened to Silent Hill 2 soundtrack by Akira Yamaoka? Yeah, I think we did Silent Hill 2. Just a few tracks. I think it was one of those streams with a couple of different soundtracks. So yeah, we did a little bit of Silent Hill too. Yeah, you can have a look at my YouTube homepage and just look in the playlists there, and you'll find the game music show. And if you go into that, you should be able to find the past all the past streams. And also, if any of you are interested in seeing me play like Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, and Silksong, I also have playlists where I play through these games, or am about to play through these games. I haven't really decided yet if I'll put up these VODs publicly, or if I leave them like unlisted, because it might like interfere with my YouTube. It appears that if you make like the wrong decisions, they're gonna tank you or like drop your channel into the infinite trash can. Vampire. Well, if you can't post it here, you can post it in our Discord channel. There's a link to the Discord channel in the description to the live stream. Right, so next up, Limwell Falls Eventide. We also have some synth sounds in this track, but it's less distorted. It's a little bit distorted, of course, but it's not as distorted and saturated as in that night track. Again, really nice ambience. Yeah, I guess with all those like bells and stuff that happens in the background, these really far away, huge bell sounds. Cogwork, Silksong, nah, it's a lot more dangerous sounding than any of like Silksong tracks. But really lovely ambience, and I totally adore the sound effects mixed in here. It's really like exquisitely and purposefully made. Really great ambience. And again, it's not, I guess it's not supposed to take over anything. It's just gonna lay there in the backdrop as a mood ambience. To get your vibes going. To get you a little bit on the nerves, on the edge. It's a very suspenseful theme. Or not theme, ambience. So that was the Limwell Falls Eventide. Carson, sounds like sneaking through somewhere you aren't supposed to be. Yeah. Don't looky. Next in line, we're gonna go to Limwell Falls Night. Let's see if we get more of those distorted sounds in this one, and a more punchy, frightening piece. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about the first part here. It's really like massively disturbing at the end here with all those clashing notes and stuff, but really cool with that synth bass arp, and also the like double basses and cello that make those tremolo, really disturbing tremolo parts. I think it's a really cool beginning, and again, it's of course more horrifying, or more putting you on a nerve, on an edge. Definitely sounds dangerous. Yeah, seems like they're running like the violins and the cello, the lead lines here through some distortion pedals of sorts, because it's a really like nasty, gritty sound that you can't really get from just playing the instruments. You have to add some effects on top of that. Just listen again. They really got some cool stuff happening also with the pitch on some of the instruments there, where they like make a fade. It sounds like an aeroplane crashing. Limwell Falls Night. Michelangelo, mod server has the Everdark Balancer soundtrack. You may want to re-listen to the original Balancer soundtrack. The Everdark version transitions from phase 1 of the original. Okay. Next in line, we're gonna hit Spirit Shelter. Finally something by Yuka Kitamura. This is gonna be fun. Love the compositions of Yuka. Hi there, Dalek here. Good to see you. That was a very short cue, but definitely sounds very demonic. Sounds like you're down in some level 45 deep sewer or something. Actually, I'm reading one of those Forgotten Realms book at the moment. If you know of those, Dungeons and Dragons stuff. But it really sounds dark and dangerous. But I wonder where this track plays. If anyone can give some context to a Spirit Shelter, this evil monk singing from the depth, from the deepest well. But yeah, it is indeed composed by Yuka Kitamura. Aha, okay. Just a little sound cue before you play. Fight one of the Night Lords. Next we have the Crater. Aha, okay. At a safe place to prepare. Yeah. You really know what you're getting yourself into when you hear that monk screaming at you from the depths. This plays after Night 2 boss. You go into a sort of pool and wake up in the pond in a giant white man-made cave thing. There in Spotlight. Yeah, you basically get to stop and do some shopping before the fight. Yeah, you always have to do this shopping before the fights. And get your magic gloves and everything. Magic club, plus 10 in attack. Next up, the Crater. Salute. Hi there, welcome. Salute. Right, so that's also one of those very like ambient, mild tracks. I think it's very like mildly, it's a little bit unnerving, mildly unnerving, maybe. Just a little bit of tense and suspense. Just to get you a little bit on the edge. Salute! Yeah, I'm drinking julmus. Thanks for the super chat. Thank you. A drink to that. Thanks. Yeah, I just told them about julmust and how it's breaking Coca-Cola during Christmas times here in Sweden. It's hilarious. But I love it. Still have a lot of julmust left from Christmas. The Crater, so that's that piece was composed by Tai Tomisawa. And like I said, sounds a little bit unnerving, mild unnerving. Vampire. Okay, so you linked the DLC playlist in the Discord server. Yeah, so I'll have a look. The map has different areas that can spawn, and the crater is one of them. It's a volcanic area. Yeah, sounds very suitable for that type of region within the game. Next up, we're going to listen to a composition by Soma Tanizaki, The Mountaintop. I get a little bit of like a Witcher vibes from this track. Maybe I'm dreaming away by reading the title, The Mountaintop. Dreaming away of the different areas in The Witcher 3. Just love the riding around in the woods and to the mountaintops in The Witcher. They made a very nice atmosphere in that game. Again, it's one of those tracks where you have a lot of those seconds that appear, the second interval between the instruments to give you a little bit of nice clash and dissonance. Just enough dissonance to give you a little bit of an unnerving temperature or unnerving feel to the piece. It really works beautifully. That was The Mountaintop. And we're heading right into the rotten woods. Right, so overall I feel it's a very nice ambient tracks in Nightreign here. They really know how to awake the right sort of feelings when it comes to the design choice or the design mood of Nightreign and Elden Ring, obviously. There's a lot of like flashbacks from the original Elden Ring soundtrack when I listen to these pieces. And like with the Mountaintop Witcher, but I guess that's maybe just the title that gave me that kind of vibe. Next up, the Rotten Woods. Also, no, this one is by Shoei Maezawa. More unnerving, unsettling. Sounded like a gunshot in the distance. What I really love about these ambiences is that they have their own like identity sound-wise. They're not just reusing the same kind of sound effect sets for the backgrounds. They have like unique sound sets in the backgrounds or sound effects creations for the different ambiences. Obviously they're reusing the main like thematic, that they have the sound effects, the ambient layer beneath the sound effect layer, and then they have the cellos, basses and violins. But yeah, so they reuse these type of basses on the different tracks, but then they have different sound effects and stuff. And in this track, it seems like they also have some kind of granularified bell, the sound that we heard at about 1 minute 20 seconds. Sounds like some kind of metal bowl or something. Could be, or some kind of like granular sound effect. It can be very like frightening and unsettling if you're playing a game late at night and you sit all alone in the dark and you listen to these type of ambiences. I'm playing this game called Outlast 2, which I was tipped on during a live stream in about some month ago. And it's really unsettling to play that game alone at night when you just sit with headphones and especially when you hear like door knockings in the distance, like they did here in this in the sound effects in the background. It can be really unsettling. Sounds like a cannon in the background too. The Rotten Woods. I was expecting a little bit of like leaf sounds and maybe some cracking of branches or something, but maybe they add those sounds with just another sound effect layer, and not implement it directly in the music, so to speak. Because you often leave those sound effects to a separate sound effect layer within the game. But it's interesting that they left some knockings in the actual soundtrack. Next up we have Noate, the Shrouded City, by Soma Tanizaki. Okay. It's really haunting with the female voices, the female sopranos there in the background, the female soprano choir. We got a question here, Michelangelo. Any thoughts on the importance of music in the games, film, etc. when it comes to the implementation of the right music, bringing the right spirit in the scene? I feel it's like 80%. It's a lot at least. It's 50% at least of the experience when it comes to getting across a nice atmosphere in a game. Obviously the visuals give you like the impact of the scenery and everything, but if you have the right soundtrack and the right sound effect layer, the experience is just so much more, what's the word? Much more engaging, much more, full, so to speak. I was looking for another word, but maybe I'll come back to it. But a typical example is when I played Witcher 3 the first time, and when you ride out in the woods and you hear the wind and the trees and the background music themes, and it's just you just pause and suck in the atmosphere. I feel the same. I have the same kind of memories from Skyrim. When I first played Skyrim, it was mind-blowing experience, and many other also in the past with other games, but these are two that comes to my mind. And a typical example of the importance of music in films is that ending scene in Star Wars when they get their medals at the end of, I think it was the third movie. And if you remove the music from that scene where there's just like silence, it becomes very hilarious. So indeed, music is very, very important to bring the real like feeling and to help the audience feel what you want to convey. Yeah, animation. I mean, if there's bad animation, it can ruin the experience. But if there's a great animations, it's definitely going to give you a more like a wow factor. I got that kind of experience when I watched the animations in Clair Obscur, the battle animations for Mayel and like Verso and Ciel. And the animations in that game is just, I just love it. It's mind-blowing. But they had the studio that made the battle animations had tons of experience, and so. Yeah, music can definitely break apart the experience if you have the wrong kind of. Especially if the composer doesn't know how to like convey, or what type of you have these devices. It's called devices, the type of things that you can like reach for when you're writing a specific type of music, like I've been talking about earlier here in this episode, that you make this. If you want to make dissonances, like real dissonances, which really can convey horror and darkness, use tritone, -9, -2, and those type of intervals. But if you want to be lighter on the suspense and just have a little bit of unnerving, you can do that second and other type of intervals that's more in harmony. And you can also use, and there's like tons of different devices that you can reach for, certain instruments that you can use that works better for certain scenes. And it's not universal, obviously, but like you hear tremolo strings, tremolo cello in many of these pieces. That's like typical for conveying unnerving, unsettling, suspense. And the same thing, you have this device when you have, think of the Batman, the Dark Knight, for example, when you have these pulsing ostinatos. That's also a typical device if you want to convey momentum and also this a little bit of unsettling but suspenseful kind of vibe. So there's tons of these devices that you learn when you practice scoring to games and film. So it becomes like part of your toolbox, craft box. And I have tons of different like note sheet papers from back in the day when I studied more music theory and stuff. And I have tons of these devices in notation for different like action cues and adventure cues. And yeah, we talk more of this stuff obviously in the film scoring course and in my cinematic music course, but lightly touching on this here in this stream. Yeah, so we're going to continue. Sorry for the break here. I'm getting carried away. Noate, the Shrouded City. Let's continue listening. Blazers, welcome. Good to see you. How's your evening? I was just going to say that it's really beautiful when the choirs come in. But then the choir that came in here at the end, it's almost like a breath more than a real choir. So it wasn't that type of angelic voice that you'd expect. It was more of a breathy, suspenseful, and a little bit unnerving kind of sound. Right, so next track is from Tai Tomisawa, The Great Enemy. Okay, so we're coming from these really ambient and a lot more coherent and connected kind of tracks, and now it definitely feels like disjointed, disconnected. It really breaks apart, and again, very unsettling when we have these old things happening all over. Generic boss theme. Yeah, thanks for that, Sulut. Definitely get me that into that kind of battle mode. But very disconnected. It feels like it's going everywhere. Really unsettling. And again, a lot of tremolo strings. And those tremolo strings, that rapid cello playing, sounds like you're haunted by a swarm of bees, or maybe a swarm of Nazguls or something. It's really unsettling. Lasers, well, thank you. Happy I managed to catch some of the stream. How was the Nightreign listening? Haven't been so far. Yeah, it's been really nice. We've been listening to many of the ambient themes and got a feel for a very good picture of what kind of instrumentation choices they have in the ambient tracks, at least. But these boss themes is a lot more all over the place when it comes to instrumentation. And we finally get some brass in this track, The Great Enemy here, and some timpanis and Gran Casa. Those are really big, ballsy drum sounds. But it's not over the top, I feel. I guess they saved that for the proper boss fights, not just the generic boss fights. Right, so in the previous stream, did we listen to The Raid? I know we listened to Gladius, Beast of the Night. But it's just a short track. It's by Tai Tomisawa, so let's listen to The Raid and see what's that's like. That was The Raid, also a very unsettling track. I use that word a lot here because that's like the feeling I get when I listen to the like disjointed, disconnected kind of a little bit all over the place, but it's a little bit more coherent than the previous track, I think, but it still feels very suspenseful, very dark. Dark magic. Yeah, so we had some questions regarding if we were to play the Forsaken Hollows, the DLC and the ambient tracks and Everdark. But I think we can take those maybe in another stream. because it's gonna be like a too long stream, I guess. And I think it's gonna be more proper for the stream also, I think. Soul Loot. I think this plays when Gnoster invades you and you need to find the invisible moth taking your health and runes. Okay. Yeah, I've yet to play Nightreign. Still haven't played the game, but I played the Elden Ring and Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne. Okay, so they've yet to release the last pieces. Yeah, we'll wait for those. Okay, so I'm gonna check up if we missed some other tracks from last stream. And while I'll surf, we're gonna listen to Return, Tai Tomisawa. I don't know if we listened to that track in the previous stream. Now this track, Return, has obviously a more hopeful harmony and a more light arrangement. Really lovely with the harp, choirs and the strings. Next we have a Remembrance of the Guardian. I have to listen from the start. Yeah. Somehow I got rid of the music when I removed the... So we're gonna listen to Return first here by Tai Tomisawa, and then we're gonna go to the next one. Sorry. I need to have this box showing to get the music into OBS. Yeah, I really feel this return theme here. I talked earlier about finally some like harmonious and sounds more hopeful, this return theme. It definitely gives you a little bit feeling of that expedition finished. Completion of a run. Yeah, I think it's a very suitable theme for that type of event, game event. You get your Merc and relics. Yeah, nice. Definitely suits that type of event. With a light choir, a little bit of harp, and yeah. It's also good to have these type of different themes in the game, I guess, to make the unsettling stuff sound even more unsettling. Because if you only have like darkness and yeah, everything is in the same ballpark, the evil stuff is not going to sound evil anymore. You really need to have a little bit of light and angelic holiness before you dive back into the darkness to get the other stuff sounding more evil and mischievous, frightening, horrific. Right, so now, next up, a Remembrance of the Guardian. A Remembrance of the Guardian. This one also gave me a little bit of like hopefulness and it has a lot more sweet harmony compared to the darkness in the other tracks. The Remembrance themes are a treat. They act as character conclusion themes. Yeah, they also have these just light dissonances in the theme. I felt a little bit of like Skyrim vibes in this track too, with these strings and sounds fading in and out like that dynamically. In Nightreign, Remembrance is a term used for the lore of the characters. Right. Sounds very Elden Ringish or very FromSoft. Solute, I didn't do anything with the character remembrances. Maybe you didn't have to. Right, next up, a track by Soma Tanizaki, another one. Unbreaking Night. A really cool cue. I really love that swell they had in the middle of the track. Okay, you just did all the Night Lords and got the Nightreign plat. Congratulations, Sulut. Curzon. Yeah, maybe someone will tell us. The Unbreaking Night. Where is that played in the game? It's just a short cue, 35 seconds. Next up we have The Priestess Enters the Field of Battle. And this one is composed by Yoshikazu Takayama. Damn, that's some very high-pitched strings. So that was The Priestess Enters the Field of Battle. I'm checking which tracks we played in the previous live stream, so I don't like do duplicates in this one. Next is a Remembrance of the Duchess, also by Yoshikazu Takayama. The classical intro. Nice. What a cool arrangement here with the harpsichord and the choirs. Just lovely. There in the spotlight, Duchess is my favorite character to play as. She reminds me of a Bloodborne character. Ah, that's what we love. Bloodborne. Damn. Really need to head back and play that here. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. It's been a while. Please react to the Great Hollow OST. Yeah, we'll do that in a future live stream. I think it's on my list. It's on my list. Yeah, overall it's a very nice tender. Oh my god, straight into a boss theme, the tourney of the lands between. It almost sounded a little bit religious, a remembrance of the Duchess. Maybe it's because of the vocals, but just a little bit. Yeah, so next up, Soma Tanisaki, the Tourney of the Lands Between. This one was a lot more like heroic sounding, and maybe a little bit of a Wagner in there too, but really cool track. This is when you end the game. The Tourney of the Lands Between. Is that the finale? The grand opus. But it's a very short opus, if it's an opus. 1 minute 27 seconds. It plays in one of the remembrances. Yeah, I think we have the end much further down at the list. A Remembrance of the Rider. Just gonna check if we listened to that track last time. A Remembrance of the Rider. No, we didn't. So let's do that one. That's also by Soma Tanisaki. Seems like he did a lot of tracks in this soundtrack. I'll be back. Yeah, the little I heard sounds like a very cool ambient theme. Love the breathiness. A Remembrance of the Rider. I'm gonna post a link if there's new people in here joining in the stream, so you can see what kind of playlist we're going with. Next in line, we also have a track by Shoei Miyazawa, Contamination. No, we didn't do Wilder. Sorry. To the Wilder, to the Wilder. I feel this is like a perfect, beautiful execution of putting together dissonant, crazy sounds into this perfect palette of unnerving, unsettling sounds. Again, it's very disjointed and disconnected, I feel. But it works beautifully. It really gets you on the nerve. And with the perfect instrument to end the theme, Contamination, with that little music box. Just love that. That's also very useful in horror films, in horror scores. Because everybody is very careful about their kids and want to protect them. It's buried in our DNA to protect our kids, so if we hear those sounds and we hear danger sounds around, we're gonna get on the edge. It's for baby doll music box. Makes sense. Yeah. Next is also by Shoei Miyazawa, A Girl's Solemn Wish. Yeah, there we got the only music box. Nice little theme. A Remembrance of the Revenant. Next in line. Also by Shoei Miyazawa. Is that like the intern? You can do these smaller cues. The music box cues. It's actually very beautiful. Ah, that's nice. Yeah, I was just kidding about the intern stuff. Obviously. You know it. Yeah, but I mean the music box here with some additional violin on top. Gorgeous. And I really love the reverb and the ambience in that track too. Shoei Miyazawa is very young between. He became a sound designer during Bloodborne development. Awesome. Yeah, just love that game. Bloodborne. Next we have a track by Tai Tomisawa. This one is called Remembrance of the Recluse. Never heard that word, recluse. Yeah, very introspective music, so I had to look up the word, and apparently the dictionary says it's a person who lives in solitary life and tends to avoid other people. Indeed, shut-ins. Secluded, yeah. Curzon, thanks for sharing that. And that's definitely depicted in the theme here with the introspective character of the melodies. Da-da. Dan Crowell, welcome. Thank for the sub. This one is almost like the old Snake theme that we did a reaction to here the other day. If you missed that one, I advise you to check that one out. It's one of my latest videos on my channel. It's from Metal Gear Solid 4. The old Snake theme, which is on a naked nylon acoustic guitar. And I feel it's the same kind of like a vibe in this theme. You have this just a really simple melody that's repeated, and it doesn't really build a lot, but I guess it's to keep the same kind of drama, same kind of mood and emotion throughout. The next track, Two Faces, One Sword, Tai Tomisawa. Just gonna pause there for a second. And this track, I just love that cello melody, but there's so much going on again, so it somehow again sounds a little bit like disconnected, because there's so much things going on, so much like counterpoint, different melodies going everywhere. Yeah, it might be a little bit similar to Gladys maybe. It's really cool, but I'm just saying it sounds like it's going a little bit everywhere. But I just love how the composer here, just 30 years old, makes everything glue together, at least. Because you have these different lines that poke out through the mix from time to time, because they have a harder dynamic articulation. And so you get these different melodies poking out from that, huge set of different instruments playing at the same time. So it's really cool to hear that it works, but there's a lot of things happening. Maybe a little bit too much, but maybe I need some more listens with this one, but it really feels cool. Next is another Remembrance of the Executor, also by Tai Tomisawa. Really intricate arrangements when it comes to the instrumentations. Yeah, like the Remembrance track, this one is also very like introspective and recluse. I learned a new word today. I'm super happy for that. Nice. So next we have The Ancients by Shoei Miyazawa. It's a little bit longer track, 2:57. This one's quite mysterious. Also maybe a little bit of like introspective feel. But it's definitely like full-on ambience. Full-on ambient track. A very nice like shimmer reverb on the harp, on that lush harp. Yeah, nice background music for a hub, I guess. Nice background music. Very much background ambience, but really to set the mood, I guess. It's always about the mood and how the theme sits in the destination within the game. Right, so we heard a little bit there of the next track, Dawn by Tai Tomisawa. Until this part, the first part of this track, Dawn, sounds to me like a battlefield. The aftermath after a battle. The dawn after a huge battle. But something is happening here in the track. Beautiful. I wonder if we played at the end. Oh, we didn't. So we need to play the next track too. It's a longer track. And this is a composition by two composers, Taito Misawa and Choi Miyazawa. The End. It has a very chamber-like string sound in this part of the track. It sounds very much like contemplating on your journey. Right, so to me, like I said, to me the like emotion I get from listening to this is like someone contemplating on their life, on their journey, their life choices. There are sparks of hope at some points, just a little bit, and then there's a lot of sadness and grief and maybe accidents. Now at this point, it sounds like the person is stuck in memory at some point in time and contemplating on that specific era or event that happened. So it's small sparks of events throughout the life of someone. That's just my depiction of when I listen to this track, what kind of feeling I get. Yes, I'm a really big sucker for piano, which you probably know if you watch my reaction videos. And I just love this exquisite little piano piece in the middle section of this track. And with the beautiful singing and strings on top of that. It's a gorgeous little section. Glorious indeed, man! What a beautiful piece there with that like heroic part almost. Just love how the orchestra blooms in this section. Just man, favorite part from today's listening event, definitely. I'm just blown away. Just love the sound of the orchestra during that section, man. Yeah, gorgeous song and gorgeous counterpoint throughout that piece at the end. I wonder why they cut it short in the middle there. Like ambience outro. Because it sounds like two different tracks, actually. Next up, the End Wilder. Shoi Miyazawa. Very nice arrangement in this one. If the previous one had a most bloomed out orchestration, I feel that this one was definitely the track with the most dynamics, from the most silent playing to the loudest playing. A really huge span. Yes, that one is also cut in 2 pieces. It gives me so much Skyrim vibes, this last section. Brought me back to Skyrim like that. Beautiful, beautiful. The End Wilder by Shoei Miyazawa. The next The End, Iron Eye by Soma Tanisai and Shoei Miyazawa. Feels like very like strange panning there when we only have like the cellos in the, to me, the right ear, and everything disappears almost in the left ear. Just sounds like a weird mixing choice. or a balancing choice when it comes to the arrangement. Very massive sounding, definitely sounds like a titan of sorts. A bit like a God of War. Talk about contrast. This previous epic Titanic Dark Souls 3. And then we get this exquisite piano piece. Yeah, it's a lovely cello solo. Yeah, there are a lot of the end variations. This is standard music for the end. Can. The second part is fixed for all characters. Best part depends on. Yeah, thanks for sharing some details, Canon. WRSH. Vrsh. Yeah, absolutely Baldur's Gate vibes. Definitely. Now that you mention it. Yeah, we're all easy when it comes to strings and choir. Strings and angelic choirs or demonic choirs really get me going too. I bought a lot of choir libraries, like 8 Dio Insolidus choir, which is this more like a classical church choirs, big church choirs. And then we have Lacrimosa choir, which is more of these demonic, hellish, in-your-face, more epic-sounding choirs. Also have some like evil whispers and stuff. And I used a lot of those choirs on my Diabolical Lilith Part 1 and Part 2 albums. And then I also bought like a Votan. It's called the Votan. And that's more like a Gregorian monks, Slavic monks choirs. Deeper. Right, so that was the End Recluse. Next up we have the End Recluse. Are we entering the tavern? The fairy fountain of Zelda. And of course this Recluse theme has a lot more introspective and self-analyzing, contemplating vibe. Right, so that was the first part of the End Recluse. And my guess it's gonna be the same Phase 2 section in that one. Wotan is another name for Odin, Norse Allfather. Since you're Swedish, you should know this. Well, I don't recall hearing Wotan in our Norse mythology before. I know a lot of other names, Jörgmundur and all this other stuff, but Wotan, I didn't connect with that. I must have heard it before, but you know. Aha, the German name. Okay, so this is gonna be the final track of tonight. I'm not gonna end this stream with playing the Inquisition like I've been doing in the previous 2 or 3 streams here. Because it's getting late here. I have an early morning tomorrow. And yeah, hope you had a nice time here today in this reaction live stream. And we do these on Wednesdays. Make sure to leave a like on the video or the stream. And yeah, if you're watching this afterwards, please leave a comment and let me know your favorite track here from the stream. Or what kind of tracks we should listen to in future streams. And by all means, check out my music on streaming platforms. Just search for my name, Mattias Holmgren. Or search for Gelheim if you're more into synthwave music. But I usually make very dramatic, organic, epic music in all sorts. Yeah, good to have you, Curzon. Can man can. Solute. Glazers. Sexton, thanks for joining in. Sebastian, thanks. Yeah, it's a beautiful score in Nightreign. Thank you too. I can't spell that. WRSH 101. Alistair Reed. Yeah, thanks for joining in. Hope to catch you next time too. Let's Nothing, Solute. I need to catch up Stranger Things. I just watched 2 episodes of the new season. Oh, and I also have a half episode of Fallout from the new season too. Really love the series and love the game. Can't wait for the remake or the remake of Fallout. Love that game too. Thanks for the julmust again, Solute. Love you all. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, I just have a little bit of a skivet. Small amount of julmust left. Gonna take that one. Yeah, so we'll see what we'll do next when it comes to the music reaction streams. If it's gonna be the next Wednesday or if we're gonna do one on Saturday or Sunday, but it's definitely gonna be one next Wednesday. So make sure you check in on Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Central European Time. I always make a post on on the Discord channel. So if you don't want to miss out, make sure you join in on the Discord or the Patreon or, yeah, wherever. And there's also the possibility to join in as a member. There's a button below the stream video here, which you can join in here on the channel to become a member and support these coming streams. Because all the support helps. Trust me. Yeah. Oh, and I also have some music gear videos coming up here on my channel. Might be of interest or not to you, but at least I'm gonna play a little bit of bass here in the next episode. Lasers! It's a little bit sad that the dragons don't appear on the screen. I wonder if I can fix that. But sorry, the chat comes from Streamlabs, so I'm collecting like the chat from Twitch, YouTube, and now I'm also thinking about starting to stream on Kick. So when we do the Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne streaming, the game streaming, I hope to stream to Kick too. Is there a channel to suggest the soundtracks that we to you in the Discord? Great tip there, Curson. I didn't really thought about that. I'll do that instantly. Let's see. Gonna set it up right now. Add new channel. Suggest music. Suggest OST. Suggest reaction OST. That's gonna be the channel name. There we go. Yeah, by all means, fire away your favorite soundtracks and favorite themes there. But I have a lot of personal favorite themes also that I'd love to deal with here on the channel. But of course, I'm all here for you guys then. Right, so we're gonna cut down here. I need to go down and take a sandwich because I'm getting really hungry here. I guess you heard my tummy tumble during the last track. Right, so catch you next time. Bye.